thickness, and it'll give you an edge that will possibly be seen on the right side. So what you do is, if you have half-inch roller in your pocket, around where the besoms are at, make sure that that's trimmed down to a half-inch tool like this. Okay. Make sure this is trimmed down to half-inch like that. Okay. Now, notice how you have one seam allowance here. You have one seam allowance here, and you have this seam allowance here, okay? Now, this seam allowance is from the besom. So now I'm going to cut that seam allowance just a little higher than the jacket seam allowance. This was the jacket seam allowance, and this is the besom seam allowance, okay? Now, the next seam allowance that you're going to have is the flap seam allowance, which I'm just going to cut a hair off.
Why are you doing this again? Why are you cutting it?
Okay, why would you have all these seam allowances at the same edge? If you have them at the same edge, you'll get a ridge on the right side because it's very thick. This way, when you do it, it's just a steps, and it just graduates to nothing, okay? It's flatter than getting everything at one edge, and then you'll see the impression on the outside, okay? Now, what created the prongs, you just cut the ends off like this. This was the folding of the not the prongs, I'm sorry, of the besom pockets at the edge of the prong. You just cut them off like this. So in other words, they're going to follow like the shape of the prong.
So you only did this trim that,
Mhm.
and then from up there, what did you trim? I didn't.
No, here you can't trim because you have nothing up here.
So then that's all you trim.
Just this one here,
That's
okay?
it.
Now the next thing you do is that I need a navy blue thread. Now the ends of the pocket, okay, if you want to make it look straighter, just take a same color thread, double it, so that when you put it through the needle, when you put it through the needle, it's 4 layers, okay? So you're going to double it first and then put it through the needle.
Oh, double it.
Yeah,
first.
double it first. Remember how I told you when you sew a button, it's best if you double the thread, put it through the needle so you have 4. If you did twice to create a shank, a button, okay, because you always have to leave room between the button and the garment, a shank. If you go once, that's 4. If you go twice, that's 8. Okay? Now what you do with that is that you go from one end to the other, the width of the besom pockets at the end, so that it'll look straighter. Okay, that was something that was taught to me. I don't, you decide whether you want to do it or not, okay? In lighter fabrics, yes, it does look better. In darker fabrics, at times, you know, you really can't tell because it's so dark.
Okay, it's doubled now.
It's double,
Now
okay.
hold on.
Okay. Now, on this one here, we're going to make a knot. Now remember that your front should be pressed and your hindmost should be pressed before you join them together. Now from the wrong side, oh, I can't tell. Am I in the corner?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I need help.